Let us disappear. Let us leave the room where you are sitting. Let us leave the city with its lights and its noise. Let us leave this century entirely. Tonight, we are going on a journey so long and so quiet that by the time we return, the world will look different to you. You are safe here. The darkness around you is not empty. It is a velvet curtain, protecting you from the day that has passed. Settle in. Feel the weight of your body sinking into the bed. Feel the air entering your lungs, cool and steady. And as you breathe out, imagine that you are breathing out a mist, a white, swirling mist that begins to fill the room. It covers the floor, it covers the walls. It lifts you up gently, weightlessly, and carries you away. We are traveling back to the very beginning, back to a time before maps, before clocks, before the written word. We are traveling to the cradle of the mist, to the deep emerald heart of the world, to the mountains of Xishuangbanna and Yunnan. Imagine a forest. But not a forest like the ones you know. This is a prehistoric forest. The trees here are titans. They are older than history. Their roots are thick and gnarled, twisting into the earth like sleeping dragons. Moss covers everything. It hangs from the branches in long green beards that drip with moisture. Drip, drip, drip. And in the center of this cathedral of trees, there stands a plant, Camellia Sinensis. It does not look like the small bushes we see on plantations today. Here, in the wild, it is a tree. It stands 30 feet tall. Its bark is rough and dark, covered in lichen, but its leaves, look at the leaves. They are thick, they are waxy and dark green. They catch the little sunlight that filters through the canopy. And on the tips of the branches, there are buds, small, pale green buds, covered in a soft silver fuzz, like the down of a newborn bird. These trees stood here for millions of years. They stood here when the dinosaurs walked the valleys. They stood here through the ice ages. They waited. They held a secret inside their leaves. A chemical secret, a molecule of peace, a molecule of awakening. They waited for a hand to reach out and touch them. Legend tells us that the hand belonged to an emperor. The year is 2737 before the Common Era. The world is young. Shennong, the divine farmer, is walking through these hills. He is a man of science in a world of magic. He is not looking for gold. He is looking for life. He tastes the roots. He chews the bark. He poisons himself 100 times to learn what heals and what harms. His body is transparent like crystal, or so the legends say, allowing him to see the medicine working within him. The water begins to heat. It trembles. Small bubbles, like pearls, form at the bottom. Steam begins to rise. And then, the wind of destiny. It blows through the ancient branches of the wild tea tree above. It shakes the leaves. And one single leaf, dried by the sun, snaps from its stem. It dances in the air, a brown, crinkled thing, unremarkable. It falls into the boiling water. Shennong sees it. He watches as the leaf surrenders to the heat. It begins to unfold. It expands. It remembers its life as a green, living thing. It releases a dye. The clear water turns a pale, shimmering gold. And the steam changes scent. It is no longer the smell of water. It is a smell that wakes the soul. Fresh, grassy, a little bitter, a little sweet. The emperor lifts the bowl. The ceramic is hot against his fingers. He brings it to his lips. He sips. And the legend says, tea gives vigor to the body, contentment to the mind, and determination of purpose. He feels the warmth travel down his throat. He feels his eyes open wider. The fatigue of the day evaporates. He has found the elixir. For thousands of years after that moment, tea remained a prisoner of the forest. It was not a drink for pleasure. It was a medicine. It was bitter, strong. Villagers would cut the branches, boil them into a thick, dark soup. They would add ginger. They would add onions. They would add orange peel. It was a broth to cure a fever, to heal a wound. It was wild, untamed, and raw. But time flows like a river. And the river of time brings us to the Tang Dynasty, the Golden Age, the era when China became the center of the world. Silk, poetry, painting, and tea. The leaf left the wild forest and entered the garden. It was no longer just for the sick. It was for the soul. And in this age, there lived a man who would change everything. Lu Yu. He was an orphan, a child abandoned by a lake, found by Zen monks. He grew up in a monastery surrounded by the sound of chanting and the smell of incense. But he did not want to be a monk. He wanted to be a master of the leaf. Lu Yu saw tea not as a soup, but as art. He wrote the Cha Jing, the classic of tea, the first book in human history dedicated to a single drink. Imagine him writing it. He sits in a small bamboo hut. Outside, the rain is falling on the broad leaves of the plantains. He dips his brush in ink. He writes on a scroll of paper. He codifies the rules of peace. He tells us about the water. Use the water from the slow-moving mountain stream, he writes. Do not use the water from the rushing river, for it is too violent. Do not use the water from the well, for it is too still. Balance. Everything is balance. And he tells us about the boil. Listen to this. Close your eyes and listen to the water. Lu Yu said there are 3 stages of boiling water. The first boil, when the bubbles are small, like the eyes of a crab, and a faint sound begins. Sss. This is the waking of the water. You add a pinch of salt. The second boil, when the bubbles rise like a string of crystal pearls around the edge of the pot. The sound deepens. It becomes a hum. This is the moment. You must take a scoop of water out to save the spirit of the water. You add the tea powder. The water turns green, like a jade lake. The third boil, when the water leaps like wild waves beating against the shore. The sound is a roar. You pour the cool water back in to calm it down. You stop the fire. The tea is ready. Lu Yu taught the world that drinking tea was not about quenching thirst. If you are thirsty, drink water. If you are sad, drink wine. But if you want to find yourself, drink tea. He called it the froth of the liquid jade. He drank it from bowls of blue and white porcelain. He drank it in silence. He drank it while looking at the moon. He drank it while listening to the wind in the pines. The tea of this time was different from ours. It was pressed into bricks, hard cakes of dried leaves. To drink it, you had to roast the cake over a fire until it smelled toasted. Then you had to crush it into a powder with a stone roller. Then you boiled it. It was a ritual of labor. You had to work for your peace. But the leaf was evolving. Just as humans change, the tea changed. The Tang dynasty fell. The Song dynasty rose. And with the Song dynasty, the tea became lighter. It became airier. The heavy bricks were gone. Now they picked the finest, youngest leaves. They steamed them. They dried them. They ground them into a fine, bright green dust. Emerald dust. They did not boil it in the pot anymore. They put the powder in a bowl. They poured hot water over it, and then they whisked it. with a whisk made of bamboo, split into fine hairs. Whisk, 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 whisk. The sound of a bird's wings fluttering, until a thick, rich foam appeared on top, like the foam on a sea wave. But while the emperors played, the monks were watching, the Buddhist monks. They saw something in tea that the emperors missed. They did not see a game. They saw a key to the mind. Monks had to meditate for hours, sitting in the lotus position, back straight, eyes half closed. The mind must be empty, but the body is weak. The eyelids get heavy. Sleep comes. Tea was the answer. The froth of the liquid jade kept them awake, but it did not make them jittery. It kept them calm, focused, alert, but still. They began to drink tea before every meditation. They drank it in front of the statue of the Buddha. They turned the act of drinking into a prayer. And one day, a monk from a distant island arrived. His name was Isai. He came from Japan. He studied in the great monasteries of China. He tasted the tea. He felt the clarity. And he knew he had to bring this green treasure back to his home. He filled his pouches with seeds of the Camellia Sinensis. He boarded a wooden ship. He sailed across the stormy East China Sea. He brought the seeds to Kyoto. He planted them in the rich, volcanic soil of Japan. And there, on those islands, the tea would find its highest spiritual form. It would cease to be a drink entirely. It would become the way. Chado. The ship cuts through the waves. The grey ocean stretches out in all directions. Inside the wooden hull, wrapped in cloth, lie the seeds. They are small, round, and brown, like little stones. But inside them, a forest is sleeping. Inside them, a new culture is waiting to be born. We are arriving in Japan, the land of the rising sun, the land of moss and mist. The monk Isai plants the seeds in the rich, dark soil of Kyoto. It rains. The sun shines. The shoots appear, pale green fingers reaching for the light. They grow into bushes, rows and rows of emerald green on the misty hillsides of Uji. But this land is different from China. China was a land of vast empires and grand palaces. Japan, in this era, is a land of warriors, the samurai. It is a time of steel and blood. Life is short. Death is always close. And because life is so fragile, the moments of peace become more precious. The samurai, with their heavy armor and sharp swords, found something in the tea. They found a way to stop time. Before a battle, a warrior would sit. He would hold a bowl of green tea. He would look at the steam rising. He would forget the war. He would forget the fear. In that moment, holding the warm ceramic, there was no enemy. There was only the tea. But the tea was about to change. It was about to move from the battlefield to the garden. It was about to become a religion of solitude. Enter a man named Sen no Rikyu. He is the most important figure in the history of tea. Before him, tea was about wealth. People used gold cups. They used expensive porcelain from China. They showed off. Rikyu changed everything. He looked at a simple, rough bowl made by a local potter. It was uneven. It was dark. It looked like a stone covered in moss. And Rikyu said, "This is beautiful." He taught us the philosophy of wabi-sabi, the beauty of things that are imperfect, the beauty of things that are old, worn, and simple. A cracked cup is better than a perfect one, because the crack has a story. A faded scroll is better than a new one, because it shows the passage of time. You reach a stone basin filled with water. A bamboo ladle rests there. You take the ladle. You pour cool water over your hands. You rinse your mouth. You are purifying yourself. You are washing away the dust of the world. And now, you stand before the tea house. It is a small hut, made of wood, mud, and straw. It looks like a hermit's cave. The door is strange. It is very small, a square, low opening, the Nijiriguchi. You cannot walk through it standing up. You must kneel. You must crawl. Why? Because inside the tea house, everyone is equal. A samurai must leave his sword outside. An emperor must bow his head. A merchant must lower himself. Inside, there are no titles. There is only host and guest. You sit on the tatami mat. The straw smells sweet and dry. You wait. The host enters. He does not speak. Silence is the language here. He sits before the iron kettle. The kettle is sunk into a square pit in the floor where the charcoal is burning. The charcoal is arranged in a specific pattern to create the perfect heat. Listen to the sound of the kettle. The Japanese have a word for it, matsukaze, wind in the pines. It is a soft, simmering sound. Shh. It sounds like a breeze blowing through a pine forest on a distant mountain. Close your eyes and listen to the wind. He takes the bamboo scoop. He opens the caddy. Inside is the treasure, the matcha, a vibrant electric green powder. It smells of fresh grass, of seaweed, of spring. He places 2 scoops into the bowl. The bowl is rough. It is black and red, molded by hand. It is called raku. It does not get hot to the touch. It holds the heat inside. He takes the ladle. He dips it into the kettle. The water flows. Splash. Steam rises in a vertical column. He pours the hot water over the green powder. And now, the sound of the whisk, the chasen. Carved from a single piece of bamboo, split into 80 fine bristles, he whisks the tea, back and forth, back and forth. It is a rhythmic, scratching sound, like dry leaves rustling in the autumn wind. Faster, then slower, until a thick, jade-green foam covers the surface. He turns the bowl. He places it on the mat in front of you. You bow. You reach out. The bowl is warm. You hold it with both hands. You feel the texture of the clay, rough here, smooth there. You turn the bowl twice so you do not drink from the front face. This is a gesture of respect. You lift it to your lips. You drink. The liquid is thick, rich. It tastes bitter at first, a deep, earthy bitterness. But then, a sweetness follows, the umami. It coats your tongue. It is warm and grounding. In this room, time does not exist. There is no past. There is no future. There is only this bowl, this heat, this silence. The philosophy of the tea ceremony is called Ichigo Ichie. One time, one meeting. It means that this exact moment will never happen again. Even if we meet in the same room, with the same tea, tomorrow, we will be different. The light will be different. The flower will be different. So we must cherish this moment. We must sink into it completely. The host adds a little cold water to the kettle. The wind in the pines quiets down. The ceremony is ending, but the feeling remains. The tea has moved from the wild forests of China to the quiet mats of Japan. It has become a spirit, but the world is vast. And to the west, there are mountains even higher than the temples of Kyoto. There are winds even colder. There is a road that climbs into the clouds. The tea horse road, where tea is not a ceremony, but survival. Let us leave the tatami mats. Let us put on our heavy coats. Let us prepare for the snow. The mist is lifting, revealing the Himalayas. The air begins to thin. The trees begin to change. The bamboo forests disappear. They are replaced by pine, then by scrub, then by rock, we are entering the Himalayas, the land of snow, the land of the wind. And yet, look down. Look closely at the side of the sheer cliff. There is a line, a thin, winding scratch on the face of the mountain. It is a path. Sometimes it is only 3 feet wide. On one side, the cold, solid rock. On the other, a drop of 1,000 feet into the mist. This is the Chamagudao, the ancient tea horse road. For 1,000 years, this was the highest and hardest trade route on earth. It connected the tea gardens of Yunnan to the frozen plateaus of Tibet. It was a road built on need. The Chinese needed horses for their wars, strong, fearless horses that could only be bred in the high grasslands. The Tibetans needed tea. Why did they need it so badly? Imagine living here. In the thin air, your heart beats faster. Your body burns energy twice as fast. You cannot grow vegetables in the ice. Your diet is meat. Dried yak meat, barley flour, milk. Cheese, it is heavy food. It sits in the stomach like a stone. Without tea, the body struggles. The mind gets foggy. The tea was the key. It helped digest the fat. It provided vitamins where no fruit could grow. It was not a luxury. It was survival. But you cannot carry delicate green leaves up a mountain. They would crumble. They would rot in the rain. So the tea changed again. It became heavy. It became tough. The Chinese compressed the leaves into bricks. Solid, dark blocks of tea. Rock hard. They looked like chocolate, but they were as hard as wood. They could survive rain, snow, and falling off a cliff. Now, listen. Listen to the sound of the road. Clop, clop, clop. It is the sound of hooves on stone. A caravan is coming. Mules and small, sturdy horses. They are walking in a line, head to tail. They are carrying heavy sacks of tea bricks. Bells hang from their necks to scare away the spirits of the mountain. Ding, ding, ding. The sound echoes in the empty valley. And walking beside them are the porters, men and women of iron will. Sometimes there were no mules. Sometimes the humans carried the tea themselves. Imagine a man carrying a stack of tea bricks on his back that weighs more than he does. 200 pounds of tea. He walks in a rhythm. 7 steps, then stop. He rests his heavy load on a T-shaped walking stick. He catches his breath. Then he walks again. 7 steps. Step, step, step. Moving the leaf up the staircase to the clouds. Let us follow them to the end of the journey. To Lhasa, the city of the sun. Or perhaps to a small remote village in the shadow of Everest. We are tired. We are frozen. Our lips are cracked from the dry wind. We see a stone house. Colourful prayer flags flutter from the roof blue, white, red, green, yellow. They snap in the wind. Flap, flap, flap. We push open the heavy wooden door. Inside, it is dark. The windows are small to keep the heat in. The air is thick with smoke. It smells of burning juniper. And it smells of something else. Something rich, animal, ancient. It smells of yak butter. We sit by the stove. It is a clay stove, burning dried dung. It gives off a steady, glowing heat. The host smiles. Her face is weathered by the sun and the wind, lined like a map of the mountains. She prepares the tea. This is not the way of tea we saw in Japan. There are no bamboo whisks here. She takes a piece of the tea brick. She breaks it off with a knife. Crack. She throws the dark leaves into a cauldron of boiling water. She lets it boil for a long time. The water turns almost black. It is strong medicine. Then She pours the dark liquid into a tall wooden churn, a long cylinder made of bamboo and copper. She adds salt, pink rock salt from the Himalayas, and then the most important ingredient, a large scoop of yak butter, yellow, creamy, and rich. She takes a wooden plunger and begins to churn. Squish, splash, squish, splash. The sound is rhythmic, hypnotic. She is mixing the oil and the water. She is creating an emulsion. The tea changes color. It turns from black to a creamy, purplish brown, like the color of a river in a storm. She pours it into a small wooden bowl. She hands it to you. Hold it with both hands. The wood is warm. It feels alive. The heat seeps into your frozen fingers. Look at the surface. A thin layer of oil floats on top. This is good. This oil will coat your lips. It will protect you from the cold. Take a sip. Do not expect the floral sweetness of jasmine. It is salty. It is savory. It is thick like soup. It tastes of smoke, of cream, of the earth itself. It shocks the tongue at first, but as it slides down your throat, you feel it. Energy, heat, life. The butter warms your blood. The salt restores your strength. The caffeine wakes your mind. It is the most comforting drink in the world when the wind is howling outside. In Tibet, they say, the tea is the body. The butter is the spirit. They drink 40, maybe 50 cups a day. The bowl is never empty. As soon as you take a sip, the host fills it up again. It is a river of warmth that never ends. And so, the leaf conquered the mountains. It started in the jungle. It moved to the palace. It moved to the temple. And now, it sits in a wooden bowl on the highest plateau on earth. But the journey is not over. The leaf has conquered the land. Now, it must conquer the water. Far away, on the other side of the world, a new power is rising. Men with pale faces and strange clothes are building ships. Ships bigger than any junk or sampan. They are looking at the map. They are looking for a way to China. They are coming for the spices. They are coming for the silk. But they will fall in love with the leaf. And they will take it on a journey longer than any caravan. They will take it across the dark, rolling oceans. They will build the fastest ships the world has ever seen just to carry it home before the flavor fades. The age of the sail is coming. The age of the clipper. Finish your butter tea. Wipe the warmth from your lips. We are leaving the snow. We are going down to the sea. Can you smell the salt air? The tide is turning. Rest now. You are safe in the shelter. The wind is outside. You are inside. The butter tea has warmed you to your core. Sleep and wait for the sails to unfurl. The mountains fade behind us. The white peaks of the Himalayas disappear into the clouds. We are moving south and east. We are following the great rivers down to the ocean. The air changes. It is no longer thin and dry. It becomes heavy, warm, humid. And then you smell it. The scent of the sea, salt, seaweed, the smell of wet sand and vast, deep water. We arrive at the port, Canton, Shanghai, Fuzhou. The harbour is a forest of wood, thousands of masts bobbing in the water. Junks with their red sails like bat wings, sampans scuttling like water beetles. But towering above them all are the giants. The Western ships. These are the vessels of the red-haired barbarians, the Europeans. First the Portuguese, then the Dutch, then the British. They came for silk, they came for porcelain, but they stayed for the leaf. They realized that back home, in the cold, damp cities of Europe, people were thirsty for this warm comfort. But China is far away, so very far. To bring the tea home, they had to build a bridge across the ocean. A bridge made of oak and canvas. This ship is a tea clipper. Look at her. She is beautiful. She's not built for war. She's built for one thing only: speed. She is long and narrow, sleek like a greyhound. Her hull is painted black and gold. Her masts rise into the sky, dizzyingly high. She is a racehorse of the ocean. The captain shouts an order. The anchor is weighed. Clank, clank, clank. The sails are unfurled. And this is the magic. The canvas drops. White clouds blooming against the blue sky. 1 sail, 2 sails, 10, 20. A mountain of white cloth catches the wind. Snap. The ship leans. It shudders. It wakes up. It cuts through the water, leaving a white scar of foam behind it. We are leaving the land. We are entering the blue. For 3 months, maybe 4, there will be no land, only the horizon. The sun rises on the left, sets on the right. The moon pulls the tides. The stars guide the way. In the mid-19th century, this journey became a sport, the Great Tea Races. Every year, the clippers would race from China to London, the Cutie Sark, the Thermopylae, the Taping. They would leave the same port on the same tide. They would race for 14,000 miles. And sometimes, after 3 months of sailing, they would arrive in London just minutes apart. The chests are unloaded. The smell of tea mixes with the smell of the damp London streets. It is auctioned. It is sold. It is carried by horse and carriage to the tea shops, to Twinings on the Strand, to Fortnum and Mason, and finally to the home. We leave the wild ocean now. We leave the roaring 40s and the tropical heat. We are stepping onto dry land, into a world of cobblestones, brick houses and smoking chimneys. The world of the West. Here, the tea will change again. It will stop being a mysterious exotic spice. It will become the heartbeat of a nation. It will become the cup of char, the builder's tea, the Earl Grey, the anchor of the day. The ship has docked. The sails are folded. We leave the cold wind of the river behind. We walk through the foggy streets of London. We open a heavy door. We step inside. Instantly, the noise of the world disappears. The air here is still. It is warm. It smells of beeswax, old books, and dried flowers. We have arrived in the Victorian era. We have arrived at the hour of the low tea. 5 o'clock. It began with a duchess, Anna of Bedford. In the 1840s, dinner was served very late, 8 or 9 o'clock. By late afternoon, the Duchess felt a sinking feeling. She was hungry. She was tired. She asked for a tray to be brought to her room. Some tea, some bread and butter, a little cake. It was such a perfect moment of pause that she began to invite her friends. And soon, all of England was stopping the clock at 5 p.m. There are sandwiches cut into small triangles, cucumber, cream cheese. There are scones, still warm from the oven, wrapped in a linen napkin. You break one open. Steam rises. You spread thick clotted cream. You add strawberry jam. You take a bite. Sweet, creamy, warm. And then a sip of tea to wash it down. But tea is not always polite. Sometimes tea is wilder. Sometimes it is hotter. Let us leave the velvet curtains of London. Let us travel east again. But not to the mountains, to the snow, to the endless white plains of Russia. It is winter. Deep winter. The snow is piled high against the windows of the wooden house, the dacha. The wind is howling outside, trying to find a way in. But inside, it is hot. In the center of the table stands a giant, the samovar, the general of the table. On top of the samovar sits a small teapot. This is the zavaka, a very, very strong concentrate of black tea. Dark as night, bitter as medicine. You do not drink it straight. You pour a small amount of the black liquid into your glass. Then you turn the tap on the samovar. Whoosh! Boiling water rushes out, diluting the tea. Steam billows up, filling the room with moisture and warmth. The glass is hot, too hot to hold. So it sits in a metal holder, the podstacanic. You drink it with lemon. You drink it with spoonfuls of sweet cherry jam, eating the jam right off the spoon. Or perhaps you put a lump of hard sugar between your teeth. You sip the hot tea through the sugar. It melts. It sweetens the bitterness. The samovar never sleeps. It stays hot all day. Guests come in from the cold, stomping the snow off their boots. Their cheeks are red. Their breath is white. Come, you say, have some tea. And they sit and they talk. The conversation flows as long as the tea flows. They talk about life, about sorrow, about joy. The kitchen talk. The samovar is the heart of the house. It pumps warmth into everyone who enters. It creates a circle of light in the middle of the dark winter. But the sun is rising higher now. The snow melts into water. The water evaporates into heat. We are traveling south, to a land of color, to a land of spice, India. Here, tea is not a quiet ritual. It is the energy of the street. It is early morning in Mumbai or Delhi. The city is waking up. Tuk-tuks are revving their engines. Vendors are shouting. The air smells of dust, jasmine, and exhaust. And cutting through it all, the smell of masala chai. Look for the chai wala. He stands on the street corner with his cart. He is a magician of the flame. He does not use a delicate teapot. He uses a large metal pot, beaten and dented. He throws the tea leaves directly into the water. It is a strong tea from Assam, robust, malty. But he is not done. He opens his box of spices. Crash. He crushes green cardamom pods. He breaks a stick of cinnamon. Snap. He adds cloves, black peppercorn, and fresh ginger, grated right into the pot. He pours it into a cup. But not a porcelain cup, not a glass, a kulhad, a small cup made of unglazed red clay. It feels rough in your hand. It smells of the earth, of the rain on dry soil. You take a sip. It explodes on your tongue. It is sweet. It is spicy. It is hot. The ginger burns your throat in a good way. The sugar gives you a rush of energy. The milk soothes your stomach. It wakes you up better than any alarm clock. England, Russia, India. 3 different worlds. The delicate clink of china, the rumble of the samovar, the smash of the clay cup. But the feeling is the same. It is the feeling of stopping, the feeling of holding warmth in your hands while the world spins around you. The leaf has traveled everywhere. It has been to the palaces and the slums. It has been to the poles and the tropics. But its final destination is your home, right here, right now. The journey is almost over. The modern world is waiting. But tonight, we will find peace even there. The ships have sailed, the caravans have stopped walking. We have traveled 5,000 years. And now, we arrive at the final chapter, the modern age. But then, a happy accident happened. New York City, 1908. A tea merchant named Thomas Sullivan was trying to save money. Instead of sending his samples in expensive tin cans, he sent them in small silk bags. His customers were confused. They did not open the bags. They threw them straight into the hot water. They watched the tea infuse through the silk. It is magic, they thought. It is instant. And so, the tea bag was born. And finally, science began to understand what the monks knew thousands of years ago. Why does tea make us feel this way? Why is it different from coffee? Coffee is a shout. It wakes you up with a jolt. It makes your heart race. Tea is a whisper. It is a hand on your shoulder saying, "It's okay." Scientists found a molecule in the leaf. They named it L-theanine. It is a rare amino acid. When you drink tea, this molecule travels to your brain. It does not make you sleep. It makes you calm. It stimulates alpha waves, the same brain waves that happen during deep meditation. It is a state of restful alertness. You are awake, but you are not worried. You are present, but you are at peace. It is, quite literally, liquid meditation, the final visualization. And so, we come to the end of our journey. The history books are closed. The dates are forgotten. The emperors, the monks, and the sailors have all gone to sleep. And now, it is your turn. Let us leave the history behind. Let us build a final room in your mind. Imagine a small cabin. It is deep in the forest, far away from the city. Outside, it is raining. A steady, gentle rain. Pitter, patter, pitter, patter. It taps against the glass of the window. It washes away the dust of the day. Inside, the cabin is small and warm. The walls are made of dark wood. There is a stone fireplace. The fire is burning low now, just glowing embers, orange and deep red. They pulse with a gentle heat. You are sitting in a large, soft armchair. You are covered in a heavy wool blanket. It is soft. It is weighted. It holds you. In your hand, you hold the cup. It is the last cup of the night. It is perfectly warm. You bring it to your lips. You inhale the steam. It smells of rain, of old paper, of vanilla, of peace. You take a sip. The warmth travels down your throat. It spreads into your chest. It moves down to your stomach. It flows into your arms and your legs. Your shoulders drop. Your jaw relaxes. The muscles in your face soften. Your eyelids feel heavy, so heavy. You place the cup on the table. Clink. The sound is soft, final. The tea has done its work. The leaf has traveled 5,000 miles just to bring you this one moment of silence. To tell you that everything is all right. To tell you that you are safe. You have walked the tea horse road. You have sailed the tea clippers. You have sat with emperors. And now you are home. Thank you for traveling with us, for letting the past speak in whispers of candlelight. This has been Night History Tales. Sleep well. Good night.